Hello everybody. I just thought I'd make a video. I haven't made a video in a while. I've been actually relatively quiet on the video front, but I've been watching a few videos, and I watched, in particular, I watched one today, a video by Sister Sunshine, Time to Consider, and I'll put a link down the bottom. You can check out that video if you haven't, and I urge you to subscribe to her as well. She's yes, she's Christian, and yes, she's it's hard for me to say that she's Christian right wing, but she definitely leans that direction. But for sure, check it out and subscribe to her channel as well. Jesus Freak posted a video a little while ago, and Brett made a video as well about just atheist, Christian discussions, and I'll post a link down there as well for you to check that out, and I urge you to subscribe to him as well. He's, despite having, him and I have not always seen eye to eye, and he has this opinion of me that is probably not accurate, as well as my opinion maybe of him is not as accurate as it could be as well. So we're both kind of in the same boat, and we haven't, like I said, we don't see eye to eye. But having said that, he, the guy's not a bad guy at all. And if I think in the past I have offended him in some way by some of my comments, and I mean, I do that a lot. I mean, if you know me as a friend, that's just the way I am. And people that know me don't really care, because they realize that it's not really an important, deep and meaningful thing. It's just me talking sometimes without thinking through what I'm saying, and everyone does that, but I do it a lot. Anyway, the video that I really want to discuss, even though Jesus Freak has he wants to do an atheist discussion sort of thing, and I'm up for that. Be willing to make a separate video for that. But this video here, I want to actually focus on Sister Sunshine's Time to Consider video. Basically, in the video, she goes on and talks about, it's an 11-minute video, and she talks about the current events of the planet. She talks about, Japan and whatnot, and basically the entire purpose of the video is for her to point out that everything that's happening, all these terrible things that are happening with the world, are happening for a reason, because it is hearkening the end times, when Jesus is about to return. And so that got me thinking how blatantly arrogant Christians are, with that sort of mindset. And the reason is purely because of, based on where they were born and where they were brought up, they believe that their religion, that Christianity, is the one and true religion, and that all the other religions on the planet are just crap, and they mean absolutely nothing, in the sense of that Jesus is the one and true Savior, and the other gods, they're just posers. And yeah, so I mean, as I've said before, it's, they have this belief that that their God, their beliefs, their Bible, it's right. Anyone else outside of that is wrong, because it's the closed-mindedness of, their belief is so closed-minded that they can't see outside of their own belief. They only see what they believe. And now I know there's going to be people watching this, and Sister Sunshine, if she watches this, which I don't think she probably will, but if she did, she would just say, oh, talk about the kettle, calling the pot black. You know, not being able to see outside of one beliefs, oh, please, and she'd roll her eyes. And that's what she'd be saying about me. And that's fine. But the difference is between us is that I don't have a faith that I pretend guides my purpose and my life. There's nothing supernatural about my life. Everything about it is based in the natural world, and that's the way I will always believe that, because you know that's you can call it a belief or whatnot, but that's who I am, and that's what I believe. Now, this end of the world thing, obviously there's been a lot of stuff going on, but it's a process. It hasn't just popped up and just happened, and a lot of these Christians are pressing the panic button. They are, they're standing there pulling out their Bibles, and at the end of this video, Time to Consider, she reads a passage from Revelations, because Revelations, of course, they believe is the end times. It speaks of somebody witnessing the end of the world, and all these demons and whatnot, and devils, and pale riders, and death follows with them, and all this crap. Everything that's been happening to this planet is a chain of events, and just like there's a food chain and everything can go backwards, you could trace everything backwards to some event, and each event affects each other event. So yes, we have a terrible earthquake in Japan. This could, it wasn't that long ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, we had a terrible earthquake in New Zealand. Okay, and they're relatively in the same part of the world. They're not that far away, really. You look at a map, and New Zealand is here and Japan is up here. They're really not that far away. And so Japan is also on a major fault line. So is New Zealand. These things happen. The Earth is shifting. The Earth, we have tectonic plates. They grate against each other, and they push and they pull, and this causes all sorts of things, and this causes earthquakes. There's reasons why these things happen, it's not because God is coming and God is sending a message. These absolute morons that have come on, and this is a separate issue to Sister Sunshine. I don't know her thoughts about this, but she hasn't posted anything that I'm aware of. I could be wrong, but alluding to the fact that this is a direct message from God, and that God is striking down the Japanese to make a point, to make, hey, I'm coming back, I'm going to kill 100,000 people, and I want everybody to believe in me. Now that's the typical Christian mindset, that their God is so wonderful and so beautiful and such a loving God that he would just take his foot and stomp on a country like Japan. Yes, they kill whales, and they kill dolphins, and they do all sorts of nasty stuff in the sea, which I don't agree with. I'm a member of the Sea Shepherd. I used to be a member of Greenpeace. My wife is still a member of Greenpeace, but I believe that the Sea Shepherd is much more hard-nosed, and they go after them. They don't get caught up in the red tape. Okay, which is the reason the Sea Shepherd exists in the first place, because the founder believed that there was too much red tape. Anyway, I don't support their whaling. I don't support their fishing off waters. They fish like really close to Australian waters, and they, they're out there and they're getting whales and they're doing all sorts of nasty stuff. But I mean, that's politics, I mean, that has nothing to do with religion. It doesn't mean that I would then wish for these people to die. I mean, my heart is, it just goes out to the family and friends of all these people. I don't know them. My brother, years ago, my younger brother, he went out for quite a few years with a Japanese girl, very nice girl, Katsura, and her family. I mean, I don't know. I haven't spoken to my brother. I don't know if he's been in contact. I mean, they may have suffered some sort of damage or loss from this. I mean, I don't know, and it's terrible, and this idea that atheists can't, that we're morally bereft and that we have no feelings, that only Christians and some other religious group, but mainly Christians, donate money and help out and lend a helping hand. Well, that's completely crap, and it's wrong. This is terrible. I have donated money. My family have donated money, and I'm as atheist as they come. Some have called me a militant atheist. I wouldn't quite go that far, although I have jokingly said it. I don't think it's completely accurate. I have my limits as how far I will push my atheism, my non-belief. I don't get violent. I don't go into the realms of violence towards other people. I don't advocate it. But most Christians can't make the same claim. They bomb abortion clinics, and they hunt the doctors, and in many cases they've killed and murdered the doctors. They've attacked women that have visited abortion clinics and things like that, because their Bible, talks about this sort of, life is, and they just believe that their beliefs supersede other people's beliefs, and that's wrong. That's wrong. The Bible, they extrapolate other things from the Bible. This is why they hate homosexuals. They believe that homosexuality is a sin. That it's not something that people are born with. It's that it's like an affliction that people take upon themselves to actually become a homosexual, like the homosexuals in Uganda, which are hunted down and bludgeoned and murdered, and their houses burned, and their families are murdered by these basically people who believe in the Bible that that it's wrong to be it's against God. Yeah, so I mean, why would you, if you had a choice and you were actually considering your path in life, which choices that you were going to make, and then you would sit down and living in Uganda and say, I'm going to be a gay person so that my family can be, burned alive in their house. Yeah, that's something that you would do, right? I think that if you look at the extreme conditions that, and Uganda is just one country in Africa, but if you look at the extreme conditions that homosexuals have to endure in countries like that, where the Christian missionaries have come in and basically brainwashed as many people as they possibly can, that their message is the right one, and their message, you know, leads to salvation, and you can't, you know, if you're homosexual, you have to, you have a choice. You have to change your ways or face the consequences. Okay. And, you know, they come in, and like the Catholic Church goes into various countries, you know, we can stick with Uganda if you want, and they actually make it conditional for these countries to receive aid, you know, on a religious basis. They have to agree to the terms, you know, and I think that's just, I mean, I don't really have words. I'm like I said, I'm quite outspoken, but you know, the Pope actually condemns the use of condoms, and he makes the aid conditional on that condition. The usage of condoms is frowned upon and shunned upon, and they actually spread lies that you know, they educate about AIDS and the dangers of AIDS, and of course the people see AIDS all around them, and HIV, and they see the death, and they realize that it's there. They actually educate these poor, uneducated people that you know, that this is a blight. This is from God, and that and then to add insult to injury, that condoms actually increase the usages, or sorry, they actually increase the, you know, the likelihood of contracting AIDS and HIV, which is complete utter nonsense. We all know that, you know, that condoms do the exact opposite, but because the Bible is so fixated, and religion is so fixated on is so fixated on sexuality, that they believe that, you know, they have to get their word out, and these poor uneducated people don't know any better, you know, and that's what they do. So, I mean, I've digressed with this conversation. It's obviously started in one place and it's kind of went other places, but I sort of do that a lot, and I don't know where it's actually going to go. I'll just stuff it. I'll just post it the way it is. I'm not going to make any changes to it. What's the point? And if I do, they'll be minor. But look, the end of the world is not coming because Jesus commands it to come, and it is not coming, and everything that's happening is not a sign of the end times, you know, Armageddon. This is simply the result of overmining, you know, there's all sorts of reasons, you know. The earth, the crust is filled full of you know, natural resources like oil and stuff, and what do? We pump the oil out of the crust of the earth and the various places in the earth, and of course, you know, that oil takes up a space inside the planet, and now we're sucking it out, and you know, these caverns, pockets that held this liquid, this fluid, you know, this matter, that had been, you know, there for millions of years, is no longer there, and it just causes stress, and it causes pressure, and it causes things to shift, you know, and tectonic plates, and it could go on, but you know, this is not the God coming back with his mighty vengeance and swinging a mighty fist, or, you know, taking his foot and stomping on Japan. Just look at a map and look at the position of Japan, and you will see on any reputable map of globe of the world or whatever, you will see a dark line that runs to the eastern coast of Japan, and that is a fault line. and Japan just happens to be sitting on this fault line. You know, it is the result of the fault line. And so this is why we have such things. You know, California also has a major fault line, as everyone knows, and this catastrophe that's happened in Japan could very well happen in California, and with very similar results, if not worse. The reason being is that Japan, although this is terrible and has, you know, the tsunami has caused massive amounts of damage and whatnot, California is not prepared. You know, Japan, you know, they've been prepared for years. They know that, they knew this is coming, and California, well, they know it's coming as well. But I guarantee you that Japan has been preparing for this day for a long, long time, and California is sort of, you know, I'm sure there's people there, and there are people preparing, and some government agencies perhaps are preparing, and some things are being done, but not to the scale that it's been done in Japan. And so therefore, when it does strike, it's probably going to be a lot worse. But you know, this incident in Japan is going to have long-reaching effects. We've got 3 or 4 nuclear plants right now that are under threat, that are leaking radiation, that they're attempting to get under control. And as Sister Sunshine said, you know, this is having long-reaching effects, and it will affect more than just Japan. It's going to affect the planet on some, you know, in some form, just as Chernobyl did back in 1986. But you know, it's a little different in the sense that Chernobyl was, they didn't have the facilities and the technology and the know-how at Chernobyl, or the resources once it happened. Japan, a little better off in that department, and technology-wise, you know, they have better equipment and they're able to deal. And we're smarter now. We're smarter now than we were, you know, 25 years ago when that happened. But then you've got the economic side of things, where Japan is a major producer. I believe Japan is the world's third biggest economy, and so if Japan is no longer able to perform economically the way it has been performing, this is going to have an effect on the other economies on the planet, and you know, it could very well, you know, put everything back into recession. You know, the United States is still struggling with recession, and you know, some would argue that it hasn't really come out of recession, and that may be the case. But this surely is going to do untold damage to the world's economy, because Japan, of course, is one of the leading manufacturers of electronic goods and whatnot, and that will have an effect on all of us, because you know, we all have our gadgets. You know, we all have you know iPhones and things like that, and this is going to be a setback for all of us. You know, and it's going to cause prices of things to rise, and people can't afford them, so you know, they're not going to be buying things like they have been, and they may have to shift manufacture to other places in the world, and this is going to cause some problems, there's no question. So I think that we're all going to see and feel the effects of this earthquake and tsunami on some level. You know, if the nuclear radiation and the fallout affects us, obviously that's a lot worse than economical impact that this could have, because our health and safety obviously is number one, and that's the most important thing. You know, if we had one less gadget in our pocket, in our hands, I don't think we'd be worse off. You know, but you know, we all have, whether or not we have gadgets or not, we all have TVs, and you know, now we all have flat panel TVs and stuff like that, and we have, you know, really fast and nice computers and all that stuff, and consoles, and this is going to have an effect in every aspect of that. You know, the prices and TVs and stuff have gone down and down and down. You know, 2 years ago I bought a 37-inch Samsung TV, beautiful TV, paid almost $2,000 for it, and the exact same TV now is about $700. So in 2 years, you know, it has dropped $1,100 or so. And this is the, you know, this shows you how they become easier to manufacture, and they become cheaper, and they can afford to produce them cheaper, and therefore more people have them. But if that changes, you know, you can theoretically see the prices start to go back up, because they won't be able to make them in the same capacity as before. So this has been a long waffled on video, and I don't know if I've accomplished anything. I just wanted to say a few things. I definitely wanted to reply and make a video in reply to Sister Sunshine's video, and I think I did that. I think I addressed most of what she said. You know, it's not the end of the world. Christians, you know, there are Christians on here, and I say specifically Christians because they seem to be the one leading the flock of you know, people proclaiming the end of the world. That this year, not 2012, is the end of the year, at the end of the world. That Jesus actually is coming back May 21st, 2011. So you better prepare. That's only a few months away. And then basically from May 21st to October 21st, he's handing out his divine judgment. And so between that 6-month period, we're all fucked. Okay? Unless, of course, you've got a Bible in your hand and a cross around your neck and preaching the word of God. And if you've been doing that, you're okay. You know, you're not going anywhere. He wants people just like you. And then, of course, you got the Mayan calendar, which, you know, I mean, give me a fucking break. We've got this December 21st, 2012 is the end of the Mayan calendar and harks the end of the world. No, it's simply that's when their calendar stopped. They literally drew up a calendar, and they had to stop at some point. I mean, you can't go on for fucking ever. Think about it. And so had it stopped in you know, 2019, you know, that's when they'd be saying, you know, it's the end of the world coming then, you know. But it's just simply when they decided to stop for whatever reason. They had astrological reasons for stopping at, you know, December 21st, whatever, who knows. Or they just stopped because that's, well, you know, all right, we've got a calendar that stretches like, you know, 3,000 years. I think we can stop now, you know. None of us are going to be around in 3,000 years. I mean, how often has that fucking been hijacked? You know, that has been hijacked so many times. You know, the Mayan calendar, you know, fucking making movies about it, and give me a fucking break. It is simply a date, you know. I guarantee you, I absolutely fucking guarantee you, unless the fucking sun explodes, or a meteor slams into the fucking planet, or something along those lines, that May 21st, 2011 is going to come, it's going to go. October 21st, 2011 is going to come, it's going to go. December 21st, 2012 is going to come, it's going to go. And all these fucking Christians are going to shake their head and go, oh. Well, what will they do? What have they done throughout fucking time? They will fucking move the goal line, and it will be a new fucking date, you know, because they can't admit at that point. It would be a defeatist attitude on their part to admit that they've just been talking shit, and they wouldn't be able to even imagine that none of this is going to, you know, that how could this be? Oh, someone must have got their facts and figures wrong. All right, Jesus is coming back. 2019 on March 14th. And he's coming back 2019 March 14th, and that will be their fucking goal line. Okay, and then that will come, and that will come to pass, and bang, let's move it ahead again. It's a fucking familiar process, all right? We've seen it time and time again. And there's a lot of Christians on here that are going to do just that, I've debated numerous times with many Christians on here about these end of time days, preaching the end of times and giving it an actual date, which many of them have done. Like I said, specifically May 21st to October 21st of this year, 2011, and other ones that actually believe that, the 2012 bullshit. And as I said, they're just going to move the goal line because none of them are being will be prepared to admit that their God is wrong or false or made a claim. This is why the Bible doesn't specifically name this date, because if it did, they would be able. Then we, everyone who doesn't believe would say, "Look, it's bullshit." There it is. It named it, and But no, this has been extrapolated by these believers who, they come up with this shit. Now, the Mayan calendar, that's something different. That has nothing to do with the Bible. But of course, Christians jump on it because they believe, well, if the Mayans, how smart were they? I don't know. I mean, all right. Sister Sunshine, look, I just had a thing pop into my head from your video. And what the fuck is this thing you're talking about? This planet that has entered our solar system, our galaxy, and is carrying fucking aliens? What the fuck is up with that? You really need to. I mean, that's a good one. You need to extrapolate on and expand that point, because now if you start talking shit like that, you're gonna sound. You will sound like a fucking nutcase. And so I implore you to retract that statement, or at least expand a little bit on it and tell us what you're waffling on about in that sense. A planet has entered our solar system, our galaxy, or something, and it's carrying aliens, and it's moving around, and it's floating around, and it's like a fucking Death Star, and it's coming to get us. All right. Well, what can I tell you, folks? The Christian way. Bullshit baffles brains. Yes, it does. Anyway, look, some people have asked me what this Iron Maiden shirt is. This is Eddie. If you can see, this is Eddie, and he's got a didgeridoo up here, and he's swinging it, and he's going to be attacking what is it? A fucking kangaroo. Looks like a alien or something. Anyway, some people ask me what that is, and this is exclusive to Australia. So if you don't live in Australia, or you don't have access to certain websites, you're not a fan member of the Iron Maiden fan club like I am, you have no hope in hell of getting it. So I'm sorry. But anyway, one more thing before I go. As I said, this video sort of has a little bit of everything. A friend of mine recommended this, and this is fantastic. This is the PC version of the game. There's Xbox and PlayStation, I guess, which I also I don't have those specific versions, but I do have an Xbox and I do have a PlayStation. But the PC is absolutely kick-ass. So I don't know if anybody out there is a fan of the first game. I think there's quite a few fans. This is everything the first game was, and just so much more. And beautiful. Talk about beautiful. Wow, this game, graphics, unbelievably nice. Just very nice, and they just did so much. They just revamped and just, you know, pumped so much more nice stuff and goodies and eye candy in this one than the previous one. And the previous one was nothing short of borderline brilliant as it was. So I urge you, if you are a fan of RPGs, pick up a copy of Dragon Age 2. You will like it. It's a really nice game. And I was up from well, I left my friend's house about midnight. I got home, popped it in my computer, and at 5:30 I decided that I think it may be time to go to bed. Yeah. So that's what video games can do if they're good. Time just goes by just like that. Anyway, as I said, I've encompassed it all here. It's all in this one video. So rate, comment, sub, please. If you can get through this video in its entirety, that'd be great. And let me know what you think. And I hope to hear something from you. And my subscribers, thank you. My subscriber list is growing, and I'd like to thank everybody who has subscribed to my channel. And I want to, you know, hopefully get more subscribers and more people commenting. I even had some jackass, which I must thank, by the way. I won't mention him here, but you can find it. Basically, I'm a fag, you know. He made a video, and it just, you're a fag, cross the thing, and that's awesome, pal. I think that if you're going to take the time to disagree to the point where you will make a video with nothing to say in it, but other than the fact that you're making the video with this "I'm a fag" or whatever it is, that's awesome. And all you did is put a smile on my face, so keep it coming, you know. If that's the best you got, bring it on, punk. Anyway, yeah, so peace, cheers, take care, and don't forget, Homefront is coming out in a couple days for console lovers, and next week, mark this event on your calendar. Crisis 2 is coming out. Oh, I'm gonna get it. Crisis 2, yes, I've been waiting now for about 3 years for that, and I cannot wait. I can actually taste it. All right, cheers, peace, take care.